Hey everyone, it's Jeff
and Brittany
from Our Paradise Falls, and we are here live to do our review and discussion of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man. Like last week, we have two special guests with us. We actually have Morgan from Teaching Disney returning. So, hey, Morgan. And we also have April from Disney Mom of Two. Hey, April.
Hi.
So before we get started on our review and discussion of today's episode, April.
My bad.
Sorry, technical difficulties. April, can you tell us a little bit about your channel, or tell everybody a little bit about your channel and what you have coming up?
Yes. My channel is Disney Mom of Two. I am a Disney channel mainly, but I do unboxings, reviews, and all things fandom. So lately, I'm pretty obsessed with Marvel. So I do have a comic book haul because I went thrifting and found some really cool comic books coming out. And my daughter does a monthly recommendations. So that's coming soon too.
Very cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm totally going to be watching that comic book haul. And Morgan, can you tell everyone about your channel and what do you have coming up?
So my channel is called Teaching Disney. I do a lot of unboxing content, and I have some vlogs that are coming out, and I will also have a classroom setup and a week review video coming out very shortly. And I also have another Bippity box coming out soon.
Ooh, yay! That's exciting.
Yeah.
Very cool, ladies.
And to follow both of these channels, the links are already in the description below. So please go and check out both of their channels. So on to the good stuff. Tonight, we are reviewing and discussing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man. And if anybody doesn't get that reference, that's actually the title of the Captain America First Avenger song, kind of like the...
intro?
No, not the intro. The
theme song, right?
Theme song. But what do they do when somebody goes to war? I can't think of the word right now. They're
war bonds.
Kind of like that. But there's a name, and it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't say it. But yes, it's from the Captain America First Avenger movie. So, April, we'll start with you before we actually get into any plot details. What did you think of Episode 2 from this week?
Overall, I liked it. There was definitely that action part that was missing from the previous, from WandaVision, the previous Marvel show. So I really liked that aspect that wasn't in some of the other stuff.
Very cool. And Morgan, what did you think? Without just getting into plot points yet, what did you think of the episode overall?
I thought the episode was pretty good. I like that they're now starting to dig into, okay, this is what the season's going to be about. And they had a lot more Sam and Bucky togetherness, which I love.
Yes.
What did you think overall of the episode, Brittany?
I liked it better than last week's. It moved a little faster, which was a little more entertaining. It didn't take so long to kick in. And I agree, Morgan. I liked the Bucky and Sam togetherness, and the humor that was in the episode really added to it as well.
Yeah, I have to agree. So pretty much last week, and when we were doing our episode 1 discussion, we were like, all right, so when is this Falcon or when is the Sam and the Bucky story going to begin? And this pretty much starts it right immediately, right after after the first scene where they introduced John Walker. They hit the ground running with the Sam and Bucky story. And that's pretty much what we're going to see, I think, in these obviously this episode and the remaining 4 episodes now, because it's a 6 episode season. But I agree. I absolutely loved it. I think a little bit more than last week's episode. So, yes, unfortunately, we are going to start talking plot points. I wouldn't say spoilers, just plot points of this episode. So, again, if you haven't seen it yet, I would go back and watch it and then come back to our review of it. So, here's your warning. Not really a spoiler warning, just plot points. Here we go. So, in the beginning of the episode, they actually introduce John Walker. They give him a little bit of a backstory, which is great. He is a Medal of Honor winner, or has received the Medal of Honor 3 times, most out of any human, I believe.
I think so, yes.
or any person ever in human history. They really building him up to be this honorable and this noble person who's going to just take the mantle over from Steve and be such a, respectful guy. Morgan, what did you think of like John Walker's introduction to this season?
So I fast forwarded through it. Because I was on a time crunch to watch the episode this week, and I also had kids in front of me, so I didn't want to get too annoyed, but I thought it was good. I did like that they kind of told us, okay, like he does have credentials to be Captain America. Hi!
Say hi, Morgan.
Surprise appearance on her here.
But I thought he was trying to it seemed like he was really struggling with being chosen as Captain America in the beginning, but then by the middle I didn't like it.
So April, how did you feel of the introduction of John Walker to this season?
So his introduction, I actually kind of liked it. I kind of felt a little sorry for him, he's being not really forced, but he's been chosen to be this big, huge symbol that all of America knows and loves and represents. And he didn't necessarily volunteer for it. So in the very beginning, in his introduction, I felt a little bad for him until he started talking.
So I actually thought they were actually going to maybe throw a curveball in on this character. So I know this character obviously from the comics, but I'm like, all right, so maybe they're going to do a twist. Maybe this guy's going to come off as a not so nice guy, but maybe he's deep down, he's, going to be doing things for the, for the right reason or the good reason.
Right.
And obviously as this episode goes on, it's not going to be like that at all with this character. So he's very, cocky, very arrogant, so very Homelander-esque for those of you that watch The Boys. So yeah, it's definitely going to take a little bit of a twist, I think, with his character. And Brittany, how did you feel about
I was gonna say, I think they were trying to have us have high hopes that he was going to be that great guy that Steve Rogers was. I think that's what they were trying to lead us towards, and it just didn't work out so well. Gus in the chat said, I think John Walker will be evil since the comics. He faked being true to the nation. So that's what Gus said. And then he also said, I'm pretty sure the Dark Avengers will be coming. So what do you think on that?
It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm still not too sure. Obviously, with only being 2 episodes, I really don't know which direction they're going in, because obviously once we start talking more plot points, there's a lot of interesting things that came up in this episode for me anyway. So moving along, going back to Bucky, I guess still dealing with the emotion of living pretty much alone and being kind of isolated in his own mind. Brittany, you kind of picked up on this as well when we were watching it. You're like, where's all of his furniture?
I was confused for a second because, you see Bucky in this room and there's literally nothing in the room but a table stand. And I'm like, where's the furniture? And Jeff's like, you got to remember that he's comfortable being alone and not having anything because that's how he lived under Hydra, not having anything. So I think that was it just gave you a little bit more of that emotion of him being by himself and really feeling it.
Did you guys take it? I will say, Morgan, did you take away anything from that scene with him being living in his apartment and pretty much sleeping on the floor and not having any furniture or anything to show that he's maybe progressing in his therapy?
No, I kind of thought of it as more reminiscent of what a lot of people go through after they leave the army, because that's their source of income. And if they've always lived on a naval base or an army base where everything's provided for them and they suddenly have to do it on their own, they don't have anything, they don't have anywhere. So I feel like it was very reminiscent of kind of that scenario.
What do you think about that, April?
Yeah, exactly what Morgan said. It kind of takes me back to in Winter Soldier when Sam and Cap are having that conversation, and Sam says, "It's your bed, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it feels like sleeping on a marshmallow." So they're used to like sleeping on the ground, and Sam says he used a rock as a pillow. So we got to remember that Sam and Bucky are military men, and now
Right.
they're not. They're trying to readjust to society and readjust to after the blip and life now.
So yeah, maybe, I mean, with that scene too, maybe it's a lot of things that like our service men and women go through as far as like PTSD and things that they do and see and interact with over, during their tours or whatever the cases are during their time in the military. So good points, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So Bucky was especially after that scene as well. Bucky seemed very like disappointed in Sam. Obviously, he sees this new guy that he knows nothing about holding Steve's shield, and he seems very disappointed in Sam. And right off the bat, as soon as they start talking, he's like, why did you give up that shield? So, Morgan, why do you think Bucky is so how do you want to term it? Disappointed at Sam for giving up the shield?
So I think he kind of sees like, I think in his mind, it was kind of like, I'm trying to like kind of bestowing an honor upon Sam that Steve did. And by giving it up, you're kind of like ruining, like you're kind of being like, no, Steve was wrong to give this to me, which I think in Bucky's eyes is that's a big no-no. Like you don't disrespect Steve, you don't do anything against Steve. And so I think that is where that kind of came in and started. And then I think he doesn't like, I don't know. I think he sees greatness in Sam and he just wants Sam to see it in himself.
April, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I feel like there's always been that tension between Bucky and Sam, kind of like that, the 3-party friendship. Like, no, he's my best friend. He's my best friend. So I feel like Bucky may have been just a little bit hurt that Steve chose Sam over him to get the shield. And then for Sam to just kind of give it away, it's an extra kind of like a slap in the face.
That's always going to be that factor between these two characters is who's going to live up to the mantle of Steve's legacy, pretty much, or that Captain America legacy. So I think we briefly talked about this last week as well. Both people have held the mantle of Cap in the comics. Both Bucky and both Sam have both become the Captain America from time to time. So, and there was a lot of people at the end of Endgame saying that it should have been Bucky who Steve should have given the shield to, obviously with their friendship and everything. But I always felt it was Sam because Sam's kind of Sam's like us in this world, of these people who have superpowers and who have all these incredible things that are going on in their lives. He's just like the normal person who's living in this world and or dealing with all these people. And also too with Bucky still having the side effects from Hydra, apparently, because he still has nightmares about what he did as the Winter Soldier. That's why I feel that Sam obviously carries that mantle more of Cap than Bucky. But I agree that because now Sam let the shield go, which they explain more into the therapist scene where Bucky pretty much tells Sam is, not only did you let yourself down, you also let me down as well.
Yeah.
Remember where he's like, you let me down. Like, maybe Bucky's trying to find redemption in having a friendship with Sam, but by Sam giving away the shield, he just feels that he has nothing now.
There was a connection and now there's no connection.
Right. That was his tie to maybe finding some kind of redemption. How do you feel about it?
I agree. I think it was more of, that's also like the last piece of Steve that's left. And if he gave it away, now all he has is the memories. There's actually not like not a living piece, but like a touchable piece of him left. So right. I think that's also the thing, like, Now he's just got the memories, and half the memories are spoiled by Hydra.
Yeah.
So how did everybody feel about the big three, the androids, the aliens, and the wizards?
Such thing as wizards. Doctor Strange. He's a sorcerer.
Without a hat.
And I love the throwback scene. He's like, when he says Gandalf, and he's like, yeah, don't worry, I read The Hobbit in 1937.
The original version.
The original version. So I think that's might be a running gag with Bucky this season. Obviously, the last episode was, I'm 106. This episode, I read The Hobbit back in 1937. So I think there's going to be like either a cute or funny little line each episode. Oh, I'm this old. Or
about his age.
About his age. Just keep that running gag going.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought that was so funny. I love it when Sam and Bucky go at each other. Yeah. I think it's so cute, and I think it's just like a married couple.
Well, can we go into the therapist scene since we're
we haven't got? I guess we could because it would be a good tie-in. So, all right. So, Brittany, the therapist scene, explain it, please.
Well, the whole thing of Bucky getting arrested. So Jeff actually said he thought it was going to be Hydra agents, the cops, and I was like, no, don't think that would happen. But
very reminiscent to Winter Soldier, but.
So when he got arrested, he didn't
check in for his original therapy appointment.
But he didn't resist arrest or anything. He's like, oh man, here we go again. And the fact that Sam was at the station waiting for him, and the therapist was there too, and she's like, well, I didn't do it, meaning releasing him or whatever.
But it's everybody's favorite new Captain America, John Walker.
So let's chat about this therapist scene, okay? So she makes them get real comfortable, real close.
Locking legs with each other.
Staring contest. Yeah, it's not awkward at all. So the humor in that part of the episode was it was cute. It really was, in my opinion.
So I think what makes it work so well is Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie have great chemistry with each other. So I think that's one of the great things that Marvel or the MCU does very well is they find these actors and actresses and they pair them together, just like in WandaVision. Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen have excellent chemistry with each other. And I think that's just rubbing off on this episode. Like if there was bad chemistry between both actors, then it wouldn't really make the show a good show.
Yeah.
So, April, what did you think of the therapy scene with Sam and Bucky?
It was really funny. I liked you got to see it really quickly in, because that was part of the previews was the whole stare down. And I like that you got to see it fairly quickly in the season. You didn't have to wait until like episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of it, Morgan?
I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to go back and watch because it's very comedic.
Even if you just
it was getting down to the wire, it was getting down to time, and I just couldn't. So I fast forwarded.
They literally do lock legs with one another. Like Sam's like, "You want to get close? All right, we'll get close." And
right, are you gonna go left?
How did I miss it?
He puts his knee in between Bucky's, in between both of his legs. Like, it's just like, I'm like, whoa.
They're close.
They're pretty close.
I mean, real quick, your arms. No, you can't see the legs. They're like this. Yeah, their legs are like this.
Yeah. And then she makes them gaze into each other's eyes. She's
Which instills a staring contest.
Right. So, but she says, I do this a lot with my, married couples or couples counseling and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
But he does. And she does say, so what's really bothering you? Like, what is the issue here between you guys? And Bucky finally comes out and was like, why did you give the shield away? And it's like, it's finally, you're getting, like, he's actually asking the question without it being awkward and not knowing what's going on. And Sam says, he's like, I thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. So, and I think that really, like, for me, I felt Bucky actually finally get emotional.
Yeah.
In that scene. And I'm like, oh, finally, we're getting some emotion out of an emotionless character. So we're finally getting some emotion from him. So I thought that was nice too.
Yeah.
All right, so we kind of jumped ahead of the episode. Now we're going to trail back a little bit. So Bucky jumping out of the plane at 200 feet in the air, I thought it was very reminiscent of Winter Soldier when Cap jumps out of the plane. Cap lands in water without a parachute. So I thought it was kind of cute that they went back and did that with Bucky, but instead Bucky, of course, lands right on his back, and then Sam's recording it off of Falcon is like, hey, just to let you know, I got all that on film.
Get out of my face.
And the whole running gag of the whole episode 2 of I'm going to break Red Wing, I'm going to break him. And then, unfortunately, rest in peace, Red Wing. Sorry, but Red Wing is no longer with us unless he comes back.
Sam will fix him.
Of course. Yep.
I don't think this one's fixable, though. Probably.
We'll build a new one.
So they really actually went into more now with the Flag Smashers. So they were kind of like I would say like a little bit of a backstory in the first episode, not really to the forefront of everything, but I believe this episode they really heavily went into it with as far as like what they were smuggling, I guess, or hijacking, smuggling, stealing. I'm not sure.
All of it.
We'll say smuggling, but they're thinking it's weapons, and it's actually medicine and vaccines, right? So as watching it, I turned to Brittany. I'm like, isn't it kind of funny the times that we're living in, and they're smuggling vaccines right now with everything that's going on in our world? So I thought that was like a cute wink from like, the MCU. But the vaccines that they're smuggling, Morgan, what do you think the vaccines are?
I think it's supposed to be just regular medicine, like regular vaccines that you would normally get that a third world country or a country at war would not be able to get, because they go into talking about how things were so much better when the blip happened and we saw what could be and we want that back, and they put like these terrible people back in power and all this other stuff. And so I think and then they called them Robin Hood. So like I think it's like kind of like Robin Hood, where they're stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. So I think it's like probably like the mumps, the
rubella,
polio. I don't know what kind of vaccines there are, but like regular vaccines, like definitely not like the flu, probably, but like those ones that you're supposed to get when you're like little.
April, what do you think? What kind of vaccines do you think they are?
The super soldier serum. It's 100% the super soldier serum. That's what they mean. I think that's what they mean by the Robin Hood. They're going to give it to average people so they can overthrow the government, because that wasn't there during the blip. And how else would all these people be super strong?
Well, okay, so I'm going to piggyback on that. So how did these people get the super soldier serum? Who is giving it to the people?
I'm thinking Hydra ties in there somewhere.
So it could be Hydra. I made the prediction that it's Zemo, but now I'm kind of iffy on it because Zemo is apparently still locked up in prison.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe he has connections outside of it, but obviously we know he's going to get out of prison because he's going to become Baron Zemo like he is in the comics. I'm hoping towards later in the season. So I'm not too sure because the main character of Flag Smashers, I don't know her name off the top of my head yet. Carly. She gets a random text from somebody saying that you stole everything from me and I'm going to come and kill you. So I thought maybe it's Zemo, or maybe there's somebody else that they're eventually going to hint at or introduce in this season that we haven't seen who it is yet. So any theories or any like rumors you want to throw out there of who you think it could be?
I don't remember the name right now. I watch what's his name? Screen Crush. He does Easter eggs and breakdowns of all the stuff. Power something. I don't remember what the name is. It's in the comics, and I don't remember. Power.
Power Rangers. Morgan, do you have any ideas of who you think it could possibly be?
I thought it would be Zemo originally, and then yeah, I didn't know there was an end credit scene, so I didn't watch that part.
No, there's not. It actually happens in the episode.
It's like the last like 30 seconds, but
that's why I haven't watched the last 30 seconds. But I thought it would be Zemo originally, or I thought it was actually like they, whoever they are, were not the people that stole the money, and that they're actually posing as the Flag Smashers, and they're not actually them.
Ooh.
So it could be another group then.
Another group
That's like under the umbrella, like acting as them, and they have like their own agenda, and the Flag Smashers are actually not Robin Hood, and that they stole it. Because I honestly don't see her bashing in a guy's face with her foot.
No. Although she does punch, I think it was Captain America, pretty hard.
Yeah.
Well, are we going to call him now Captain America, or are we still going to call him John Walker Captain America?
Oh, I mean, he is Captain America now.
You're already giving him the title?
He has the title. He was given the title.
It's a fake title. He's fake. He's not. Well, yeah, he is my Captain America for right now.
Huh.
So I googled the name. It's Power Broker, is what Screen Crush suggested it could be.
I'm not sure who that is, but I mean, I know like as far as like the Captain America rogues gallery of villains, like I know like obviously it's Red Skull, Zemo, and maybe one or two others, but he doesn't have like a popular like huge villain lineup like Batman or somebody does.
Connor said, "Imagine if it's Thanos."
Imagine
Thanos
if it
gone,
is.
buddy.
That's a good theory.
Thanos is gone. He'll be coming back.
All right.
So, and the person that we're thinking of, okay, for the text message.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts you want to throw out
I
there?
have no idea. I have no idea.
Wait, I thought that's who we were talking about.
That's who we were talking about too.
Oh, for the text message? I thought we were talking about the like maybe there being a different group out there.
Well, yeah, we were, but that's what we had said about Carly, and Morgan had said that she thinks she's a part of. I think that's what we were talking about. Oops.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Okay. Whoops. Over my head. It's okay.
Everybody worked today. We're a little tired.
So, back to my favorite guy, John Walker. What's up with him using a gun as Captain America? Is Captain America supposed to use a gun, everybody? Like, what's up with that? And actually fire it.
And actually fire it and
not just
shoot somebody?
It. Yeah.
Well, didn't he in the first movie?
Yes.
Technically, yes, but they were in World War II, and it was a different time and everything. But since then, since he was unthawed from ice, he never used a gun. Actually, wait, he did. In Avengers, he did use a. Okay, so yeah. So maybe he's not that bad because Steve did use a gun twice. So whoops.
It is
Well,
a little
my Captain America can use a gun. It's good.
It is a little off-putting the way that they filmed it, because it's right in your face, like bam. Because I think that's Captain America's first choice. Obviously, he did use one, but for this Captain America, John Walker, to just pull it out right away, like, hey.
But technically, Cap, when they showed him firing a gun, they don't show who he's shooting. So he could be just firing blanks. He could be firing at the wall. It doesn't mean he's actually firing at people. He could be firing at the Hydra agents just to scare them. That
might have also just been like the CGI of the time, though.
But John Walker actually shot somebody.
Yes.
At least he didn't kill him.
They made a real point of showing you that John Walker shot this guy.
Right. So we move on to another scene with Bucky taking Sam to, I believe, Baltimore, right? Baltimore. And we go to this random person's house and we meet Isaiah. How did you guys, well, Morgan, we'll start with you. How did you feel about Isaiah's scene, and any thoughts of will anything come of this scene from this episode?
I didn't like it. I just thought it was like another filler, another add-in thing that was very, like, if he's not going to, like, again, it's like more questions. Is this guy going to be someone? Because clearly he doesn't want to be working with them. So is he going to mean something, or is it going to be like
In and out.
He did this to show you there was that at some point. So, like, I don't know, because, like, I was really disappointed that we didn't see the sister again. We didn't see the nephews. We didn't see the old Chinese man. Like, and again, I didn't watch the whole episode, so if we did, please correct me. But like, why introduce characters just for the sake of introducing characters? Like, if they're not going to mean, I guess it does mean something because he was a super soldier, but like, if he's not going to help them and he's not going to be important later down the line, was it really necessary?
April, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm like trying to like.
You're like,
Yeah, like,
Go ahead.
So to me, it just proves that those aren't vaccines. Those are the super soldier serums. They have continually tried to make super soldiers from the beginning since it was successful with Steve. So they made it successful with Isaiah. Obviously, it didn't like pan out the best, but they've done it. So that's it. To me, it just shows that that's the super soldier serum, and it plays into the whole race thing that I think is going to be an underlying theme in this show. Because if he had done what he did, but been a different color, would he have gone to jail? And then immediately following is the scene in the street where Sam and Bucky have that argument, and then the cops pull up and immediately question Sam, like, why are you yelling at him?
Yeah, I just don't understand. I didn't understand the whole thing of, oh, I went to jail for it. I was like, well, what did you do to go? Like, why did they say you went to jail? Like, I was so confused by it.
He went to jail for stealing Captain America's uniform, from my understanding. I haven't read all the comics, but that's
okay.
I was researching.
Oh, okay. Because I don't really read the Captain America comics, so I have no clue who this guy is.
Yeah, I didn't either until I watched it. And
I wanted to know what was going on with his eyebrows. I could not concentrate on anything except his eyebrows. I was like, do you not have a second eyebrow? Is that like a scar? I'm really confused. Yeah, I was like, can I see you in another kind of light?
Yeah, no, I didn't like his eyebrows either.
I didn't understand the point of Bucky bringing Sam there. If he didn't tell Steve about Isaiah, then why would you tell Sam about Isaiah? Was it a race thing?
I think it was a race thing, and to prove to because I think Bucky thinks that these guys, these red flags or whatever they're called, I can't remember at the moment, are maybe more than just an average human. You know, there might be something like Isaiah. So I think he's trying to introduce that idea to Sam.
The only thing
Sam already knew that.
Well, Sam already knew that because of the agent guy.
I knew that they were really strong, but I think
right.
that Bucky's trying to say that maybe these people aren't just people.
They're just not really
They're
strong.
super soldiers like Bucky and Isaiah.
The only thing that bothers me with the whole creating other super soldiers is Cap was supposed to be the first and only.
Yeah.
In the beginning, after Steve is created, he the Hydra agent actually drops the serum, and it it falls in like the water and stuff. It dissolves, so that's it. So they take as much of Steve's blood as they can, and they start obviously trying to make a second serum off of Steve's blood. Now, in the Incredible Hulk, the U.S. Army does have a super soldier serum. It's not the same that they used on Steve, but it's like a new, enhanced mutation one that they made. And that's how the Abomination gets made, because he gets injected with that serum, and then he gets injected with the Hulk's gamma blood. And that's why it becomes the Abomination. So he's got like a mix of it. So now it just seems like, they're selling the super soldier serum down at Walmart for $3.99. You can go in there, take some serum, and become a super soldier. I hope they explain where this serum is coming from and how it was made, and how, if those vaccines are super soldier serum, where did they get it? Who's producing it? Who's making it? Because Zemo in Civil War, he shot all the rest of the Winter Soldiers that were in the tubes. So it's not like he took the serum, as far as we know. They might change that now with the story, but I just don't understand. I'm kind of confused on where all the super soldier serum now all of a sudden is coming from.
Well, if you heard,
using Isaiah's blood when he was in prison.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. I was like, if you heard him say it, they took his blood in prison.
But they also took Steve's blood as well. But they were never able to replicate the original super soldier serum that both Red Skull and Steve used. So this is all like off-branded super soldier serum from a mix of like crossing like Isaiah and Steve's blood and all these different people.
Well, now you have a new level of super soldier serum.
Yeah, but who made it?
Oh, that's
the person that's texting Carly.
He wants to kill her.
Yeah.
I want my super soldier serum back.
Exactly. Well, and I heard a theory that the government may have given John Walker some of it.
So that's what we're actually going to get into. I was talking to Britt about this. Does John Walker have it?
No.
I don't think he does. I don't think he has any super soldier serum in him.
Well, then
I think that's going to be like part of
the throw the shield that fast. I mean, you see in the beginning of the episode where he's throwing it at the targets, and I'm sorry, but he's throwing it just as fast as Captain America is.
But he's number one. He's my new Captain America, and
Stop saying that.
and number two, they really try to dive in and really implant it in your mind that this guy, even though he's not like, he doesn't have any superpowers, he's above your average human as far as
but what makes him above average? I mean, come on now.
But he's got the 3 Medal of Honors. He's got like they were saying they did like the test of him as far as intelligence and
I think he has some of it, but they're trying to keep it on the down low, trying to keep
I would agree.
Yeah, trying to keep him as much like the original Cap as possible, all American good guy. When really, I don't think he is.
All right, so
I
still don't think that he has anything. Well, I mean,
I don't think so. Because if he did, he would have been able to fight them off way easier than he did. Like, they kicked his butt. They flung him around like a rag doll. And I think Bucky has more than he does. And
he does have super soldier serum. He just has the version of Hydra's, because Hydra, obviously Red Skull and Steve's original doctor, they're the ones who both created the super soldier serum together. And the Red Skull actually got some of it, and that's what Hydra was using to make Bucky and then those 5 or 6 other Winter Soldiers as well. So they did have their own version. Plus, there's also that scene in Winter Soldier or in Civil War where Bucky kills Tony Stark's mom and dad. They also had a version of the super soldier serum as well. So again, where are all these super soldier serums coming from, and who's producing this stuff?
Yeah,
very confusing.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, who's producing what. But I feel like a lot of Marvel villains are basically people trying to be Captain America and failing.
Right.
Epically.
Plus, too, if John doesn't get if that car's not behind that truck and John falls off or gets punched off and hits the ground, like, is he in a coma or is he going to get up and be all right? Because if that car doesn't catch him, I don't think he's walking away from that. Right?
I don't know.
Can't predict the future.
Okay, so the end. We are finally teased with Zemo. He's still in the holding cell in Germany. And Bucky says to Sam that the only other person that I know with ties to Hydra, obviously, is Zemo, because he obviously read that Winter Soldier book, and he is he's the only one who can maybe give them potentially some intel on these this new Flag Smasher group. So, April, any predictions that you have for Zemo and what part he's going to play in this whole series?
I think he's probably going to direct them in the direction of where this serum is coming from, or who's the actual leader of the Flag Smashers.
Why do you think he would help them though?
He has no other choice. I don't know. His goodwill that he doesn't have.
Goodwill.
I don't know.
I think he would help them because they're exactly what he hates.
Yeah.
How do you think he's gonna?
I don't know if it's gonna end so well.
I honestly think he's gonna help them until he gains some kind of advantage on them and is able to break free. So I don't know if he's essentially responsible for this Flag Smasher group. I'm just hoping he will hopefully play some kind of role in it.
Did anyone else notice they mentioned Sharon in this episode?
Yes. Yeah. But so another thing that Brady and I were discussing as well is obviously now with John having the shield, we all know that Sam and Bucky are eventually going to go get it back, especially from the teasers of Sam practicing throwing the shield. So if they go and get the shield back from, obviously they're going to take it by force from John, and he's not just going to willingly hand it over. What's going to happen to Sam and Bucky? Are they going to become blacklisted as well from the government because of what Sharon did? And she was blacklisted, I believe, for 2 years, I think Sam said.
Yeah, they were on the run for 2 years.
Or they were on the run and she became blacklisted from the government for taking the shield and the wings back. So do you think they become blacklisted as well?
Maybe. I think we're gonna tie more into the whole how much the government is supposed to help veterans after they leave the military with that. So, and because they've already made comments about it's not your shield, it's government's property, and the same with Red Wing and Sam's wings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to tie in somewhere with the government, how much they're supposed to help, what does he actually own, you know.
It's all Tony Stark's fault.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, he's my favorite. Iron Man's my favorite.
Well, technically Howard Stark's fault because he's the one who actually introduced the shield to Cap in the first place.
I meant with the Accords.
Well,
It's Tony's fault.
because they make the vibranium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they didn't make that shield. They made. I think this one was the one that Wakanda made.
Well, because vibranium's.
No, Howard made the shield. It's just I think it was like only 10% or something like that of the amount of metal that was on Earth. He's like, it's the rarest form of metal on Earth. And like Ultron says too, the rarest form of metal on Earth, and they make it into a Frisbee.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you remember in Endgame, they said, get this man a shield.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
vibranium comes from Wakanda. So they just were like, hey, go mine some vibranium and make him a shield.
Right.
That's that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Hi.
All right, Connie, you want to come over for this one? Come on.
Come here, quick.
Come here. Come here, quick. Let's go.
Quick like a bunny.
Let's go. What are you doing? We're live. You're not making it any easier on us. Let's go.
Watch the cord. Thank you.
All right, so we didn't get to do this last week either, but Connor's with us. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
So, Connor, what did you think of the episode?
It was cool. I give it a 10 out of 10.
We're not there yet. Anything that you want to talk about in the episode that you liked or didn't like?
Oh, the only thing I'm wondering.
Talk to them.
The only thing I'm wondering if Red Skull is actually creating the serum.
Red Skull creating the serum.
Well, Red Skull's on Morvir or that planet. Vormir. There you go. Red Skull's still on Vormir, so
maybe
it could be.
He's sending it to them.
Like through space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like getting soldiers to send it to them.
Possibly.
And, take it to destroy the world with it, and so many people can have the serum. Maybe.
Wow.
I mean, he's got the Soul Stone, so he could do anything.
Yeah. So, Connor, on a scale of 1 to 10, Captain America or AKA John Walker shields, how would you rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd give it.
We'll tell everybody.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Really? Cool. You liked it that much?
Mm-hmm.
All righty.
Anything else you want to say? No? Okay.
All right.
Bye.
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 So there's Connor. So definitely not scripted with him. April, we'll start with you. On a scale of 1 to 10 Captain America shields, how would you rate this episode?
I'll give it like a 7.5. It wasn't like the most enthralling. Got me by the edge of the seat of my whatever I'm trying to say, edge of my seat. But it made me excited enough to see where it goes.
And Morgan, what about you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably give it a 6. I just feel like, well, I've also haven't seen the whole thing, so that may change once I see the little therapy session. But I just felt like it just left me like I'm gonna watch the rest of it because I'm going to, but like honestly, I was kind of like, could I stop here? Could I keep going? Yeah, like I fast forwarded through a lot, and I feel like I didn't really miss much. So,
what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think I'd probably give it a 7. I agree. Like there were certain parts where it was like, "Ooh, what's gonna happen next?" But then there were kind of parts where I'm like, "Okay, can we get on with it? Like, let's go." Like I said, it was faster moving than the last episode, which it was. But I think I want to see the next episode now. Like I want to keep going because now I'm wanting more, especially.
So you want to binge it?
No, I don't want to binge it. I wouldn't say binge it. I don't know if I could ever binge Marvel, but no, I'm not that kind of person. I think I'm just ready for the next one, especially after the teaser at the very end.
I'm probably going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than last week's episode. It's even though the last week the opening kind of battle scene was breathtaking, the way they shot it with like the wing suits and everything like that. This week's fight battle scene, I guess, or fight scene was just a little bit it was more grounded for me. But I just like the whole team up, obviously with Sam and Bucky. And I really like kind of the swerve that they really threw out with John Walker. You know, you really think that, you know what, maybe he's not going to be such a bad guy. And then, you know, his nice little line at the end of the episode to Sam and Bucky to say the hell out of my way. Then you're like, Brittany turned to me and go, nope, you're wrong again. They're not swerving you. He's a jerk. So just accept it. But overall, yeah, I liked it a little bit more than last week's. But yes, the tease at the end with Zemo, I really think next week's episode is going to be very like plot heavy on where the rest of the season will eventually go and what, you know, who's
making the serum and where it's coming from.
Exactly. Who's making it, where it's coming from.
Just before we end this real quick, Gus gives the episode a 9 out of 10. Gus, do you want to chat really quick? Type it in. Why do you give it a 9 out of 10? We'll wait just a second.
Gustavo. So while Gus is chatting, Morgan, any other predictions or teases or anything that you think is coming up for like the later episodes?
I really hope we see some Sharon. I'm going to be so angry if we don't see some Sharon in this. I'm going to be even more disappointed if they don't go back to those characters they set up in the beginning and do more with them than just kind of end them. And I really want to know more about this friend person of Sam's. Because I don't like him. I think he's like too sneaky. And I think there's just something there.
Which friend?
The military guy, the young kid.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was in this episode for like a hot second.
Yeah.
But I just don't, there's just something about him. I don't trust him.
He's sneaky.
He is sneaky.
She's your twin.
Yes, she is my twin. Yes.
Well, I don't know if Gus is gonna type it.
Well, I was gonna say, in April, do you have any other predictions or maybe like theorize anything that's coming up for these last 4 episodes?
Other than what I've said, No. I'm excited to see if I'm right. But I don't know.
Want to close it out?
Yeah, I'll close it out.
Sure.
So Gus never wrote back about why he gave it a 9 out of 10, but thanks for joining, Gus, and thanks for everybody else joining our chat up there. So that's it, guys. That was our review and our discussion on
The Star Spangled Man.
With a Plan. Thanks Teaching Disney, and thank you, April from Disney Mom of 2 for joining us tonight.
And we will see you guys live at 8 p.m. next week. So good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Behind us.